Howdy ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. This is a deeper dive into the Division Resurgence, the mobile game, the new factions, new stories and gameplay. I'm just ready to look at this video because like I said in my last video, I really enjoyed the Division on PC with the original release. So yeah, I'm ready for this deeper dive. Anyways, without further ado, sending out a lot of love to y'all. Take destiny into your own hands. Got tons of videos for you to check out. Let's hop in.
The Division Resurgence is taking you back to
Oh no, Ubisoft is adopting IGN style.
New York City to see where it all began. It's a free-to-play, third-person shooter, and it's coming to iOS and Android. We've got the details on a new enemy faction, new specializations, the new storyline, and it's all here in our interview with executive producer Fabrice Navrez.
Fabrice. See, I knew in the last video, I was like, is this a whole new faction and everything? So yeah, because I couldn't remember if they were or not. It was like they blended so well into the world. So
this is a new story in the Division canon, and it takes place.
Oh, it's canon.
You are the first wave arriving in New York City. Is that correct?
The overall objective was to make sure that we give a unique story for Division fans to enjoy, to give more details about the Division universe, but also for newcomers, people that are not familiar with the Division 1 and the Division 2, to have a good start. And so you will start with the first wave before the Division 1 events, and then a big chunk of the game is actually after the Division 1 and before the Division 2, and from there we will expand the stories.
Oh.
Now that first wave gave rise to rogue agents. Rogue agents, of course, some of the not just toughest enemies, but also most sort of developed characters in the Division franchise. Are we going to be meeting some new characters, some new faces that are really part of how this whole thing unfolded?
We are doing two things actually. It's first to meet with people that are known from the Division 1 or the Division 2, which is interesting to meet them before what happened actually in the Division 1 especially, and we're also introducing new villains.
Will we be seeing familiar factions, new factions?
So you're playing before the first wave? You like are that first initial wave, and we're gonna meet some of the characters from the Division 1, and then you're also gonna be playing after the 1 but before 2? That's interesting. How is that gonna? I wonder how that's gonna work. You're gonna see the world unfold, because like there's no cleaners, so like I'm assuming the cleaners came. Okay, so the cleaners came after them, that means, so there wouldn't be cleaners in this one, so the cleaners come next. But then did the cleaners remain in 2? Because I didn't see 2 too much. But
we're gonna be fighting out there in the streets.
As a player, you will meet with the factions from the previous opus, but we also created dedicated factions. One of them is the Freeman, for example. So it starts with, okay, what a bunch of engineers, civil workers, people that know how to build stuff will behave in a collapsing New York City. Oh. Well, they will do their own arsenal, they will build their own weapons, and we'll also introduce a brand new gameplay to have new challenges for the player that plays very differently from the former factions.
Specializations, big part of the Division 2, not just in terms of special weapons that can change the tide of battle, but also a whole complement of abilities, mods, and buffs. Are there new specializations coming for the Division Resurgence?
Absolutely. You will find the specialization you used to have in the Division 2, but we also added new ones. We wanted to allow the player to change specialization when he wants, to make sure that when you're playing in cooperation with your friends, for example, that actually you can kind of adapt your playstyle to find the right synergy in your team. So the key here is really flexibility and bringing new cool stuff in your arsenal. If you want to play 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can. If you want to go into a more intense focus game session of 2-3 hours, it's possible as well. You can basically play the game a bit fitting it with your time. The second thing we're looking at also is to give a lot of options for the player to customize the controls, for example, to make sure they are very comfortable with that, with the play style. So that's really the key there, and it's also how we take advantage of putting the Division on the mobile phone. It's a faithful Division game, so we had a lot of great inspiration to take from. Of course, it's adapted for a small screen, had to be easy to read, but you will feel at home basically with the overall UI style.
Playing with friends, playing solo, these are both different ways you've been able to play the Division in the past. How has that kind of translated to the mobile platform, being able to jump into solo, being able to...
I'm not gonna lie, watching this makes me want to go back and play the original Division.
Jump into co-op. How have you sort of tuned that for mobile experience?
I would say it's quite similar to what you would expect from the Division. So it's basically you can either plan to play with your friends. From there, you can do all type of activity in the open world, go to play the campaigns, etc. The game is the MMO at heart also. So if you meet some strangers that looks helpful, well, you can.
Oh no, I think those were cleaners right there.
Is the MMO at heart also. So if you meet some strangers that looks helpful, well, you can play with them and explore the city. And where we're pushing a bit more the boundaries is on the clan system, where basically what we want to have is to have a group of players that are gathering together and try to improve the situation in New York City. And basically all the tasks that is being made by the clan members is basically improving the overall situation. So it's...
That's cool. Wait, that's something that I'm not actually remembering from the first game. See, because if what he said is true, I have to go back and play the original then. I don't mind going back and playing the original. I would so grind that out again. The Division 1 was awesome. I don't know how 2 was, but I don't remember. I remember when you cleared an area, or at least a space, that did all it do was take out the enemies? Oh my gosh, I have to go back and play, bruh. And it's crazy because I literally collected everything in that game, like every audio log. Got so like involved in the story. So I need to just go back and try to rekindle that part of my mind, because I can't remember if there was actually any real physical effect to the city that you've seen after clearing areas. But the way he said that, he wants like groups to set up, or the goal is players set up clans, and the more that they do kind of cleans up the city. That would be cool to see visual representations of that, like certain areas having like lesser enemies, but like if they're like areas where you can grind them out, but for the most part most areas get cleared up as you progress through the story. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool to see. I would love to see that. I don't remember that in Division 1. I think I remember areas being cleared that you could walk through, but I would love to see more games, more RPGs do something where, like, was it like Skyrim? Yeah, it was Skyrim, I think, where it was so subtle. But like, for example, depending on a spoiler real quick, I don't know who hasn't played Skyrim yet, but where you choose what side of the faction where you would want to be on, and the world slightly changes. It's like everybody is now knows that the war is won by the Stormcloaks, or the what is it, the other one, is it the Imperials? Yeah, the Imperials. So yeah, I would like to see something like that in the, not in the mobile. I don't know if it could be that intensely done in the mobile, but if another Division ever came out, I would love to see that. Like when you progress through the story, it's like you actually clear areas, and like there could be some explanation for bases still existing, but at least you could see people walk the streets again, feel safe.
You're not alone.
We talked about specializations, but of course that's only one part of your arsenal. As a Division agent, the gear you're wearing, the weapons you're wielding, the mods you have on
that too. So the mods are now, you can change them within battle. Is that what he was saying? It was a bit hard for me to kind of understand that part
on them, and the way you acquire them, either by looting them from your enemies, from a cache, or by crafting them. Talk to me about how that kind of depth of customization.
Dionysus rounded padding. That's funny. Imagine the god of drinking or wine in festivals, whatever. I don't know if it was festivals making fucking knee padding.
Has translated to the Division Resurgence.
So that's something we wanted to keep: the complexity, the theory crafting, the min-maxing. The Division Resurgence is a RPG, and that means that actually players will be able to really look on how to optimize everything to get the best build in a specific situation. So we kept most of the system you would expect from the Division. Of course, it's adapted. You start with a specialization that is kind of increasing the number of options. It means also different synergy with the guns, but you will have a quite complete mix actually to find the best play style.
Excellent. Can get really into it there.
I love that gun. I love the gun sounds in the Division.
Now, folks, before we go, the Division Resurgence wants you to play the game early in upcoming tests. So go to thedivisionresurgence.com to sign up for a chance to get into the closed alpha this July. Fabrice, can you...
I played the Division early. I don't know if I played this early. I'm not really a fan of mobile versions of games.
give us
I don't know if I'm a big enough fan to play this.
an idea of what the team is hoping to learn from these tests?
If you have the chance to play it, it's very important that we get your feedbacks. And the key there for us is to really understand how you play the game, how do you like what we've done with the control, with the overall pacing, the overall level design, and how we put
There's a baby crying in one of their mics during the recording.
New York City. So it's really focused on the gameplay experience and the immersion of the open world.
Sounds good, Fabrice. Thanks for taking the time to tell us more about the Division Resurgence. Sign up for a chance to join upcoming tests at thedivisionresurgence.com, subscribe to this channel, and keep up with the latest Ubisoft news at news.ubisoft.com.
It's a goddamn grenade!
Cargo secured. JTF notified.
That was a cool way to end that. To be fair, I would have rather seen them make a new, even though it's cool to see them do it on mobile. And like I said in the last video, don't know if there's like some weird increase in mobile games lately, but I would have rather seen them just make a whole new Division, or like not add a DLC, probably like just bring back the Division 1 where it takes place in New York, and just like I think I really would not mind game developers doing that, like re-releasing a game but fixing so much that was wrong or not wrong, but just quality of life changes in the newest version. Like, it would have been easy to release a Tom Clancy's The Division Resurgence, kind of change things to the area, and if you were going to play also after the first wave, it'd be cool to have you go to different parts, like even have a DLC where maybe you go through New Jersey or different parts that extend a little bit outside New York City. But I would have rather seen that than a mobile game. But hey, at least you can play a newly re-envisioned. See, because it's like they have a like different story, new faction for the mobile players. But like, if you really don't want to play mobile, you're never gonna check it out. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird move, but I don't know, maybe it'll be a success. Much love, Moonlight. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.